Om Shanti. Finish the seed of impurity and become completely clean, pure. Confluence-aged Brahmin. I am a confluence-aged Brahmin. This is not a waste thought, sanskar of impurity or sanskar of a Shudra. Experience the sanskars of impurity and forgetfulness not to be yours, but those of a Brahmin, but those of a Shudra. When you consider those to be yours, you become distressed or influenced by Maya. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Welcome to Vikti Parivar. Today's day 10. Finish the seed of impurity and become completely clean, pure. Today's topic, Confluence-aged Brahmin. Dadi Prakashmani ji specialities. Dadi Janki ji, shared by Dadi Janki ji. 10. Love for the Murli. For the golden age, let me perform charitable and elevated actions and also remain a yogi. In order to go to the golden age, let me keep with me a list of very elevated actions. Dadi became an instrument to give us sustenance in a practical way and drew our attention to the study. She had so much love for the Murli. She used to read the Murli so many times and also read it to others. She had full connection with Baba. When there is connection with Baba, then you automatically become light and might works by itself. In service too, it is the power of the Almighty Authority that works. The Almighty Authority is our Baba, and He says, I know my work. You just do what you have to do. You simply have to become worthy of the Golden Aged Kingdom. So now we will listen to Mohini Didi ji, and then today we have fortune to have Charlie Bhai with us. So after Didi's sharing, we will have chit chat with Charlie Bhai and Didi. So please stay back with us.
Om Shanti. We all know that Brahma Baba, when he was about to become awake, I know that some of us had this question, did Baba knew that he is becoming aware or his living body? Did he know? Right, that was a question. Or he knew, but he didn't tell us. Right? And of course, the message which came through Dadi Gulzar, that if Baba would have told that I am leaving on so and so day at this time, then whole crowd from everywhere would have been there. So Baba knew, because Dadi Prakashmani, Didi Mohini was in charge of Delhi and that part of the India. And Dadi Prakashmani was in Bombay. So she had come to Madhuban for 1 week. And after 1 week, she said, Baba, can I leave now? Baba said no. Again she went to Baba after 1 week. Baba, can I go? Baba said no. And, because Dadis were very obedient, even she said, Baba, it's like you come, leave your place for 1 week. So you kind of take care of things up to certain extent, and then you want to go back. But then again, 1 month passed, and Dadi Prakashmani was still in Madhuban. And when, of course, when she is in Madhuban, some of Dadis and also main brothers, they always were around Baba. That means after class, after Murli, they will go in Baba's room, be with Baba. So Baba knew, right? How much, what way he knew, but he definitely knew. And then on January 18th, Baba said, I think we heard something one day before, or same day after. Baba said, Baba is okay. But he asked Ishu Dadi to bring all the letters, answered all the letters. Ramesh Bhai wanted to know if they could buy the property of museum. No, there is museum at Abu Road. And Baba okayed it. So kind of he gave all the directions, replied all the letters. But what the sisters, Dadis noticed that he is very quiet. He's very quiet. And that morning Baba said, Baba wants to have evening class. Baba used to come, Mama used to come, but then when Mama left body, then Didi will come just to ask about our well-being, if we are okay, we want anything. Baba will come for about 20 minutes at night class. Continue little bit about from morning Murli or take one of the point, and then he will go into room around 9:20 or so. So many like Dadi and few others followed Baba. With him, they all went in his room. And Baba sat on that bed with his legs hanging, like just sat without support. And after few minutes, there was like Baba hold the hand of Dadi Prakashmani, gave drishti, and left, the soul left the body. Anyway, they all, whatever they had to do, doctors came and Baba became awake. And why I like to revise this because that's what I would want to go. Right? Finish everything, I'm going. That's best. But what I want to say that as Dadi Prakashmani was sharing, when Baba says that so everyone's part is different, drama for everyone. But she had since childhood reading and studying. She mentioned all the names of scripture because there was, Sindh and Punjab, they are adjoining. There's like a same kind of states. So there was a lot of influence of Guru Nanak or Granth. And in that they have two scriptures, Jap Sahab and Sukhmani. So she said she read both. Then she read Gita, Mahabharata, Ramayana, that's all she read. Plus in our school, she always was number one. Most happened was number 2 or 3, but never after that. So this quality of being number one was since childhood. Never had habit of go. She said no cinema, maybe once in a while. Not eating outside anywhere, just eating at home. Like she had a very sattvic habits also. So all the qualifications were there. And then of course when she came to Baba, she was always leader, front. Anything Baba said, yes Baba, we will get it done, we will get it done. Even it was difficult time. They didn't have much money and all that. So Dadi Prakashmani, her whole story, the life, is very inspiring. And as it was mentioned by Dadi Janki, that love for Murli. We used to go sometimes in her room. Some of you will remember. She's reading Murli. She's reading to everyone Murli. So a lot of that love for Murli. Murli is Baba's directions. No, Murli is Baba's Srimad. And also the knowledge, the power, the light which comes through Baba's teachings. So I always think of how Baba knew, and also Baba knew that Dadi needed to be here. She didn't let her go. And at the right time, Baba gave his hand in her hand. So Dadi Prakashmani, this is the month for her, reminds of many, many beautiful things. This morning there was a whole big session on how do purity manifest in your life. So, of course, there's a long topic, but purity, when there is purity, you are very peaceful. And purity manifests in love. Purity manifests in happiness. There are some, they are pure, but they're not happy. There is purity, but they're not content, no contentment, not loving. So what is there? They need to pay attention and to say that purity manifests into qualities and it becomes part of personality. Otherwise, who knows? People don't know your purity, but they could know you because you are light or you are happy, you are always peaceful, you remain calm, right? That's how our purity is expressed also in personality. So awareness is one important thing. Baba said sanskars of forgetting. Sanskars of Shudra. And one of that sanskar also is forgetting. Forgetting, of course, in Lokik way, but forgetting here is one's own awareness. So, Avyakti Parivar helps because, like today, Baba is giving us homework of awareness that I am a Confluence-aged Brahmin. And really, when we create this awareness, many, many beautiful things can emerge about love for Yagya, love for just remembering I am mouth progeny of Brahma, reminding, you will remember so many beautiful things. Awareness, creating awareness, that's what the benefit I find every day if we take this awareness different every day. Then definitely lot of change happens in our thinking, in our power to discern, in our power, many kinds of powers will emerge from there. So our homework for tomorrow is creating the awareness that I am a Confluence-aged Brahmin. So Confluence-aged Brahmins always remember that I am a Confluence-aged Brahmin, then automatically the impurity of wasteful thoughts, you will go beyond that. Impurity of wasteful thoughts, that sanskar of impurity. So Baba said, the sanskars of Shudra, sanskars, what is Shudra sanskar? And what are Brahmin sanskars? So Baba is saying that sanskars of impurity or sanskars of Shudra, experience the sanskars, what we have to do, sanskars of impurity and forgetfulness, not to be as your sanskars. Baba says that these sanskars are not of Brahmins, but these are sanskars of Shudra. Not being aware where my Baba says that when you consider those to be yours, then you become distressed. And then you get influenced by Maya. So constant awareness that I am Confluence-aged Brahmins, and see what emerges, the experiences, qualities, powers through this awareness. So that's our homework for tomorrow. Om
Om Shanti. So now we will have Brother Charlie with us, and he and Mohini Didi will have beautiful chit chat, and we'll be having a lot of beautiful experiences. Thank you. Welcome, Brother Charlie.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, sorry. So thank you so much, Sister Bhumi. And Didi, it's lovely to be here. I've been in Peace Village for 12 days, which I think is my longest time. Usually I come for the call of time and say hello to everybody, go into silence, and then I run away again. It's been very lovely to be here for an extended period. But I was really touched how you were talking about Baba preparing Dadiji in that sense. And in the year 2000, I remember Dadiji was in Sydney, and she told, year 2000, it was the Olympic Games in Sydney, and she came to open the Peace Pavilion there. But she told this whole story, and really, I'm not exaggerating, the whole room was having tears even Dadiji had a few tears. She said, I've told the story hundreds of times, and this is the first time. It was so touching. And as Baba was leaving, the way she was saying, she's saying, Baba, Baba, she could feel Baba leaving. It was just so moving. But do you feel that Baba kept her there? So you were saying that Baba knew he was about to leave. Was he training her or just keeping her sort of close to him because, he was really going to anoint her as the instrument of the yajna?
I think that in those days, there was nothing like training, but it's learning. Because there are some souls, they observe and they learn. And that is what's happening. I think she was, especially Dadi, Didi, Mohini, whenever there is a situation, Baba decided something, and they will observe that on what basis Baba decided, how he did. And what practices Baba did, I think they were following that, like when he has to meet Lokik people come, he will go in his room and kind of prepare that soul consciousness or Baba's remembrance, that when he will talk to them, like there was a big change already in them in Baba's presence. So I think that learning, all of us have this opportunity to learn. But there is something which, we block and we're not able to really learn as much. But observing and learning was basically our time. Like I never have training. There are many who have 1 month, 6 months training. But we were observing Baba, then Dadi, then Mama, and then remind ourselves, but that's what Baba did. That's what Dadi would do. That helps us, guide us very much. So that's why I'm thinking Dadiji must have observed and learned.
And Didi, do you feel it's the same for you, that living so close to all the daddies for so long and watching them dealing with situations, observing their decision making, that refined your own sort of subtle understanding of how to look after the yajna? Because it's they received it from Brahma Baba, you also, but especially having so many years living so close to the daddies and hearing their opinions about everything, their responses to situations.
Yeah, I feel that so many things looking at Brahma Baba and his love for yajna. But also one thing which stayed with me was he has lighthouse and might house, then with Mama, then. So I was sharing today that within me there is little bit of Brahma Baba, Mama, then Dadi, other Dadi, other Dadi. So I do remember, how they did it, what they did. Definitely helps me. And two things I remember with Dadi Prakashmani. She shared with me that when Baba became awake, then she had to play that role. She said, I wake up 3 in the morning and I look at Baba and say, Baba, two of us together will take care of yajna. And then second thing, she was creating what we call thinking partnership. That means she will share her thinking with all dadis, and she will not just, she will call Boli Dadi, not just say what to make. She said, what you planning? What you think everyone will like today? What is in the stock? And based on that, they both together create the menu of the day. This will be breakfast, this will be. So somewhere taking people along her was her specialty. Not that I decide. Doesn't matter. Oh, I will inform. but and people know that you have already decided and telling. So how to involve them? And when you're doing it, you are in a way orienting those souls. They learn more, they do appropriate. But that was, many specialties, but I do remember that helps me a lot also to how to create thinking partners. Even I have vision, I'm very clear. Even these days, I know this is the solution, but I say, let's come together to some conclusion, some solution. And so, of course, Lord helps me. And then one important thing which I feel the whole Yajna and Brahmin family look forward is that how you can be very natural and light and not all the time saying, I have so much to do, I have so much responsibility. But I really don't feel that. Only verbally I'm not saying, but I always say, I have to be just good example. I have to be okay so that I can, through my love or drishti, whatever is required by yajna, I could serve.
Didi,
Yes.
Brahma Baba was such a personality, such a divine personality, and suddenly he's gone. And even though Dadiji, we know, such a extraordinary, virtuous soul, but she was in her mid-40s. It must have been such a huge change for the yajna. How did Baba really instill the respect into Dadiji so that everyone, was it natural that everyone respected Dadiji, or did Baba really instill that in everyone around, sort of the respect for her part?
Even today, each one of us should remember it's Baba's task. It's Baba's yajna. Sometimes there are some unresolved situation for years, right? But I always say, but Baba will have to take care. If we cannot find, we cannot offer, even if we offer, that solution is not accepted. But Baba is there. Baba will take care. So I feel that it's Baba who is doing everything, but he has to make us instruments, right? And if I am connected with Baba, there is solution, right? But how to apply it. And so I think that Dadiji always felt that it's Baba's yajna. Baba is taking care of yajna. But then the instrument or the leader has to use those qualities, in that leadership. And these days, like when I am in India, there are thousands of people, right? Majority of many young kanyas and they want to feel Baba's love. They want to feel Dadi's presence. So, we have limited time, and they really request Bhumiben, just 1 minute, just drishti, not even toli, just drishti. And I realized that many of those, majority haven't seen Brahma Baba, many now haven't seen Dadis, many new ones who are surrendering have not experienced. So what one does is just, I don't know, Baba gets present or Dadis, just share that love with everyone. That's all one has to do.
Didi, you've always, felt that you're an instrument, but since your new part of being sort of the main instrument, do you feel that's even changed your consciousness of being an instrument? Do you really feel Baba's genuine influence? Sort of sometimes you get such a clear touching in your intellect from Baba, you've felt it even more so than before.
One is, what I find that people they look at our role, right? And I feel that I'm not role conscious, but I do feel some kind of responsibility, and that is that our yagya, our maryadas, everything is according to the way Baba set up. So whether it is in India or everywhere, I want to see that everyone is following that Shrimat accurately, and so that we stay free from obstacles. Even, internal, external situations are always there. But what is Baba Shrimat? What is Baba Shrimat? So I think Baba does everything, but we as instrument in practical be example of following Maryada. Sometimes in India they always say, "Oh, she's the sister of Maryadas. She has principles. You can't." People come for certain things, and I say, "Well, that's not our principles." Keeping to those, I think helps Yagya, but also others look at and it helps them. So I feel Baba does everything, but we are the instruments.
And Didi, when Dadi Janki was around, my sense was her part was so much to keep the quality of spirituality in the yagya and the family. And it seems that's your part now, to hold that vibration in the Brahman family. Because as you know, it's so easy to get so either distracted or service or action orientated. Do you conscious always just to hold that, that true spirituality, try to hold the tone of the Brahman family to keep everyone in that place?
Like when, I know everywhere, but in Shantivan, thousands of people come cooking and they are very busy. But I meet when I go, especially I go 1 month earlier than Baba's season to just meet all departments, sit with them. It is so interesting that, of course, there are many brothers or sisters, they have their own groups for spiritual, for yoga bhattis and all that. But surprisingly, everyone is making good efforts. Everyone has attention on remembering Baba. There might be few, but majority. And I really changed my whole perception. And I said, there is spirituality. Only what is needed, I think, is, some kind of helping them to be together. Or like we created 3 months program, Monday a day of silence, and that people like it all over, wherever it is. So, but I think that it's not lack of spirituality. Any Baba's child, they feel that if I don't make efforts, what's my life? What's my future? So that motivation is there, definitely. But when I am there, like I wanted to see that they get sustenance, so I started a bhatti on Thursday. I myself will go for an hour, conduct meditation, and then share some of my present churning. And hall will be full. Everyone tries to come. So that shows that they really want progress. And so then I am not there every Thursday, they do it. But tea and then some kind of panel or whatever, whosoever is there. So I think that there is, it's only how we help them to balance everything. And because if they cook every day for 9,000, whether there are guests or not, minimum 9,000, because they send food to trauma, this, where, there, everywhere, from one place is cooked. And that's amazing, Baba's Yagya.
And Didi, what is your main attention? I mean, it's such a huge organization now, but to keep everyone together? What do you hold in your sort of thought, in your mind, just as much as possible to keep everyone together? What's your special focus to do that?
There has to be unity and love for each other, belonging. Some of the things which, there is no I and mine, in the sense of, like, I always feel that every Baba's home is my home or Baba's home. Whether it is students, money, time, whatever it belongs to Baba, right? And it belongs to the whole family. So keeping this whole awareness of, if yagya, big family, say yagya, I think it does create those kind of vibrations also. There is nothing like I and mine. But Charlie, I also want you to share a little bit about your experience or some things from Dadi Prakashmani.
I think that once I went on a little tour. I don't know whether you remember, with a film crew, and we had to interview many VIPs. It was called Women of Spirit, and it was about Dadi and Dadi Janki. And we talked to Dr. James Jonah, and I asked him, who's the most inspiring leader you've met? Because he met all the political leaders of the world. At that time, it was Ronald Reagan and Mikhail Gorbachev. But he said Dadi Prakashmani was the most inspiring leader. And I remember once we had a chit-chat with Dadiji, and she was actually saying, I asked her, Dadiji, how do you run this huge yagya? And I remember she said, first I listen, then I teach. Secondly, she said, I never try to control anyone, which I think is she had such a wise understanding of human nature.
I listen to everyone. Listen to everyone.
She said, first I listen, then I teach. Second, I never try to control anyone. I give freedom, because when you give freedom, then they come close to you automatically. They will ask you what your view is. But the third thing she said was, I trust everyone. And I think, isn't that one of the most incredible gifts, to be trusted? And when you trust everyone, then they want to fulfill your trust. And someone like Dadiji trusting you. And in a way, I think she was such an extraordinary leader. We don't use that language in the Brahma Kumaris, but she really was. And that's why I was asking, I just imagine everyone was singing Baba, then suddenly Baba's not there, and then it's her. How she managed that huge transition. And yet she won the respect of the whole yagya.
So you have anything to say, the family of Peaceful Age? You have any observation of future? You want to say anything for them?
I've often wondered.
Also for Vyakti Parivar, they're listening.
I've often wondered, why Baba has got such a big place and even a bigger place now. Because Baba's vision on the future. And in Australia now we have 4 retreat centres. And as we know, it takes so much time, money, energy to look after them. But I wonder whether they will become places for the Brahman family to gather at the times, in the final period of the yagya, where they'll become little. And when we first found the Blue Mountains, one sister had a dream, and she said there was thousands of people there in white just meditating, and people were leaving their bodies, popping off. you know, and I wonder whether these will be sort of sanctuaries for tapasya in the final times. But it's been wonderful to be here, and I think I've really tasted the power of the atmosphere of Peace Village this time.
I also, when I come here, and I saw everything going on smoothly, and we know that how big it is, and so much to be done, but I think collectively, individually, everyone take care, thinking this is Baba's yagya, Baba's task, and so doing very well. And we also thank you for your visit.
It's my pleasure, fortune.
You're traveling tomorrow, so we all want to wish you a safe and good return trip.
Thank you, Didi.
And our love remembrances for the family.
Vedanti Ben is in Australia tying Rakhi at the moment.